There is no such thing as too many bowl games.
You are Locked On College Football, smothered and covered, with your host, Barrett Sallee. Your one-stop shop for everything college football. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey, welcome into the Thursday edition of College Football Smothered and Covered. Happy Boxing Day. My name is Barrett Sallee. You can follow me on all the social media platforms at Barrett Sallee. 2 R's, 2 T's, 2 L's, and 2 E's. Today's episode brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. That's right. Use promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. We do have a big show today. We will talk about maybe the most important player in the college football playoff from here on out. We will also do something that my good friend Josh Pate hates, and that is talk about college football playoff rankings. They were out. I'm sorry, not rankings, ratings. They're out, and they might surprise you a little bit. But first, we have 3 bowl games on this Thursday. The Game Above Sports Bowl in Detroit, that pits Pitt versus Toledo. We've got the Rate Bowl in Phoenix with Rutgers and Kansas State. And then we've got the 68 Ventures Bowl between Arkansas State with Butch Jones at the helm against Bowling Green, and that is in lovely Mobile, Alabama. I've heard a lot of people say this during bowl season, and it really pisses me off. Oh, they should do away with bowl games. There is no such thing as too many bowl games. It doesn't exist. The phrase is uttered by losers. Let me tell you why. They're not participation trophies. They don't reward mediocrity. They celebrate college football. This might come as a shock, but college football players actually do enjoy playing the sport of football. And so what better of a way to celebrate what they do, to celebrate the blood, sweat, and tears that they go through all season long, than to give them a fun experience in a cool location. And yes, Mobile, Alabama is very cool. And do something that they don't necessarily get to do all that time. Learn about a city, go to a hospital and take care of sick kids, all that stuff. It's a celebration of the sport. It's a celebration of the sport. And it goes back to something that I've said an awful lot. Who cares that they're not playoff games? Who cares? The reason I fell in love with college football is not because of the national championship. It's not because of the 4-team playoff. It's not because of the BCS, even though I am a big-time proponent of the BCS. It's that these teams can fight to get to the Citrus Bowl or the Holiday Bowl. I remember when getting to the Holiday Bowl was a huge deal. It was a huge deal that teams that could not win a national championship in mid-September pointed to as a goal, as something they recalibrated and can enjoy. I don't watch the sport to find out who wins the national championship. Yeah, it's part of it. I would say it's not nearly the most important part of my enjoyment of college football. Maybe it is for you, but it's not for me. I care about who wins the Heisman Trophy, who wins the Biletnikoff. Care about the MAC upset on a Tuesday night. I love all that stuff. I love college football. So having bowl games to celebrate those teams, those players, that blood, that sweat, and the tears that went through the entire year, from off-season conditioning to spring practice to summer conditioning to fall camp, all throughout the course of the season. They should be celebrated because they love football. They love football. Do any of them deserve a shot at the national championship? Most of them don't. Pitt and Toledo in the Game Above Sports Bowl this afternoon. Do either one of those teams deserve a shot at the national championship? No, although Pitt kind of was in that mix for a little while. Then we saw how that went. And then on top of things, what are they? What is this whole sport? And what is sports in general? What are sports? They're TV shows. That's what they are. They're entertainment, right? So if you don't want to turn on the Game Above Sports Bowl this afternoon at 2:00, or you don't really care about Rutgers, Kansas State at 5:30 on a Thursday afternoon during your drive home, or while you're out, redeeming cards or whatever, don't watch. Don't watch. But don't use the lack of attendance as proof that you're right. It does not matter what the attendance is. It matters what the TV ratings are. I know my friend Josh Pate's going to hate that. We'll talk about college football playoff TV ratings in a little bit. But it's different. It's a different conversation. TV ratings matter in bowl games because people love watching football. There's a gambling aspect to it. Don't care that there's 40,000 empty seats at Ford Field. I care that Pitt and Toledo fans get to enjoy that, even if it's only 10,000 of them. It's an event. It's a reason to gamble, to enjoy a game with your family. How many of you watched the Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve while you wrapped presents, put together toys, had your kids put out reindeer food in the front yard and make cookies for Santa? How many people had that on after church? A lot of people. The Hawaii Bowl is a tremendous event. And thank God it's back on Christmas Eve where it belongs. Now, going to 5 overtimes made it even that more fun. But think about it. That's fun, right? F-U-N, fun. That's the important part. It's fun for football players. It's fun for people on TV. It's fun for fans who want to go and buy some tickets on Gametime and have some fun. Great. If you don't like it, don't watch. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. That's why ESPN bought a bunch of these, created a bunch of these, because you see on the sideline, on the little banners, you see ESPN events. That's big business. ESPN events, that offshoot of the entire Disney conglomerate, is a big part of it. It's a big deal. So there is no such thing as too many bowl games. In fact, I think there should be more. Again, it's not rewarding mediocrity. These teams aren't mediocre. 7-5, which is what Pitt and Toledo are, which is what Arkansas State, Bowling Green, both of those teams are as well. Cool. Go to Mobile. Go to Detroit. Have some fun. Get rewarded for what you have done and what you have accomplished, because you have accomplished a lot. And please stop making everything about the freaking national championship. There are a lot of people, myself included, who fell in love with college football because of everything else. Yes, the national championship was a part of it, but it's not anywhere close to the primary reason I fell in love with college football, and a lot of other people fell in love with college football. It's a great sport, no matter how you consume it. But we need to keep bowl games fun. Let the players have fun. That's all I want. Take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about TV ratings. There's another argument with this, which is a complete contradiction from what I just said for the last 10 minutes. I understand that, but there are two different conversations in with different nuances. Do it next. College Football Smothered and Covered. We are powered by the Locked On Podcast Network. Today's show brought to you by our good friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Hey, you know what? Bowl games are on 3 on Thursday afternoon. Don't have any on Friday, but you know they're coming over the course of the next week and change. And what better way to enjoy them than FanDuel? They got some NFL games. You can bet on those as well. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, and they have a great offer for you. If you place your first bet for $5 and you win it, you get $250 in bonus bets guaranteed. Think about that. You make a $5 bet on the Game Above Sports Bowl this afternoon. Pitt and Toledo. You have some fun, you watch it, you contribute to those TV ratings, and you win it. You are set for the rest of bowl season if you want to place some small bets, because they'll give you $250. And live betting is a big part of this right now. Live betting is fantastic. So if you get a hunch in the middle of the game and you want to make a live bet, play-by-play stats, all of it right there on the same page in which you place your bets. It's all there for you. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Just go to FanDuel.com today. FanDuel.com. Join FanDuel.com for your chance for $250 in bonus bets if you win that first $5 bet. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Okay, TV ratings. Josh Pate is absolutely going to hate this segment. I've already texted him about it, and he's like, dude, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But I am going to do it because I saw this on Christmas Eve. I didn't do a Christmas Day show, although the ad reads are on Christmas Eve. Locked on, just so you know. But TV ratings were released on the college football playoff, and I actually was interested in this. I am interested in this because two of the games went up against the NFL, and that was something that, generally speaking, for the duration of its existence on television, college football is kind of avoided going up against the NFL just because the NFL is the big bad monster. Everybody knows it. You can't really do anything about it, right? But with the 12-team playoff, you can't avoid it. And so the ratings came in, and I saw some folks knocking college football and its product because of this. And the reason is because Penn State SMU at noon on Saturday pulled in a 6.4. Ravens Steelers on Fox that same time slot, 15.4. Later on, Texas Clemson, 8.6. Chiefs Texans, 15.5. I mean, that's more than doubled in the first window and almost doubled in the second window. And it's the product. The games were blowouts. Nobody really wanted to watch those games. Sure, people liked it to begin with, but after it got sideways, they tuned out and went on to the NFL. No, that's not right. That's not how this thing works. The college football playoff, its commissioners, its ADs, its presidents are thrilled with pulling a 6.4 and an 8.6. Thrilled on the Saturday before Christmas, pulling those numbers. Those games were on TNT, TBS, True TV, and Max, right? This whole partnership is to benefit everybody. You have to put those games on somewhere. The NFL's not going to let you put them all on ESPN, ABC because they have a contract with Disney. So you farm them out to Texas, to TBS, True TV, TBS, and Max. And they get ratings too. Now, they don't get all of the money from that. Obviously, Disney gets a big portion of it, but that's huge for those networks. They love it. They love it. That's a massive number. So going up against the NFL, that was not the goal. They knew they were going to lose that bet. They knew if they were betting on themselves outdrawing the NFL when they're on TNT, and the NFL is on Fox and NBC, they're out of their minds. They wouldn't do that. So pulling in, especially 8.6 for Texas Clemson, that's massive. And that game did get kind of tight late, and that maybe had something to do with it. But because when you look at what really matters for college football playoff, folks, the Notre Dame game in Indiana on Friday night and Ohio State, Tennessee on Saturday night, those ratings were massive. Notre Dame, IU pulled in a 13.4. Ohio State, Tennessee pulled in a 14.3. And those games sucked. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Those games, we said this after Notre Dame, Indiana. When Notre Dame went on that 16-play drive, when they were up 7-0 and scored to make it 14-0, they were in drain the clock mode. They knew they were going to win, and everybody knew it. I mean, the entire press box knew it. I think everybody in the stadium knew it. That game was over late in the first quarter and still pulled a 13-4. Tennessee, Ohio State was definitely over in the first quarter, and it pulled a 14-3. That's how healthy this sport is. You don't criticize it for the midday games, the middle two, Texas, Clemson, and SMU, Penn State. Don't criticize it for that. They weren't supposed to win that battle. In fact, those numbers are huge for college football. What truly, especially on TNT, what truly mattered were the first one and the last one. They really wanted to show what they could do when they had the stage to themselves in the playoff. And they pulled in massive numbers during two awful football games. Awful football games. Look, you guys know I'm not a proponent of the 12-team playoff. And, generally speaking, and Josh and I talk about this all the time, generally speaking, I don't really care about ratings. But I do care about the health of our sport. And that's why I conceded the election. I am here to support the brand, the college football community, even though I don't like the playoff. What the TV ratings showed last weekend is that it is a smash. It is a huge hit with the general public, not just college football fans, the casual sports fan, which is huge. Think about this. Those people watching Ravens Steelers in the first window got a 15.4. They didn't really watch Penn State SMU. Maybe they did for a little bit. They rolled into Texas Clemson, 8.6. Holy shit. So it's proof that our sport is very healthy. And again, I don't really like talking about ratings. Josh and I talk about this all the time. But man, what a boon for our sport, getting casual sports fans involved in the way that they really haven't. Again, I said this last segment. I didn't really care about the national championship. It's not what I really focused on when I fell in love with the sport. A lot of people do. Casual sports fans do more than anything else. And that's the point. That's why we're at 12. And the ratings show it. The ratings show it. We'll take a break. When we come back, talk about maybe the most important person in the entire college football playoff. We'll do it next. It's College Football Smothered and Covered, powered by Locked On. Today's show is brought to you by our good friends at Gametime. One of the things I love about Gametime is the Gametime guarantee. You'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. They have job loss assurance as well. Look, I think we're okay in the economy, but you never know. Last 4 years, definitely bad. If you lose your job and need a refund, Gametime, they have you covered. Event cancellation policy is also in effect. You automatically get full refunds for events that are canceled and not rescheduled. 24-hour returns guarantee. That protects you as well. Return your tickets within 24 hours from the time of purchase for a full credit to your Gametime account. No questions asked. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app, use promo code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? It is game time. Last thing before we get out of here, it seems like Arizona State's kind of flown under the radar, right? It's like they get a bye, the 4 seed, but a kind of an afterthought. Oh, they're playing Texas. They're going to be Texas's victory lap. They finally get to win in Atlanta, and it's going to be over Arizona State because Arizona State's not that good, right? Okay. I can get on board with Arizona not being worthy of a national champion. They didn't do enough in the regular season, in my mind. But again, they made it. The rules are the rules. So be it. Cam Skattebo might have a massive, massive role in changing my mind and completely changing the dynamic of the college football playoff. And why do I say that? Because you look at the brackets and the way they're set up. I think there's no doubt in my mind anyway that there's one side that's strong, one side is weak. And that is the Orange Bowl bracket, which will feed Penn State or Boise State into a semifinal against Notre Dame or Georgia. That's harder in comparison to the Cotton Bowl bracket, which means Texas or Arizona State's going to go in against Ohio State or Oregon, maybe the two best teams in the country, one of which will be out. So let's just say Arizona State tops Texas, which is possible. I mean, Cam Skattebo is the reason. You control the clock. You keep that dynamic duo of running backs off the field. You keep Quinn Ewers on the sideline. You got a pretty good chance of winning. That's going to be hard against Texas's defense, but Cam Skattebo's done it all season long. Is Arizona State going to beat Texas? We'll talk about that when we do picks next week, but I think it's fair to say Vegas thinks it's not likely. Okay, that's fine. There's a way to do it for Arizona State, and it's with Cam. Okay, cool. All right, let's spin it forward. They'll play Georgia or Notre Dame. When you look at the quarterfinal matchups, Georgia, Notre Dame are below Ohio State and Oregon in my rankings. Not the bracket seeding, the rankings. Could they do the same thing to either one of those teams? Yeah. Could they make it a low-scoring game? Yeah. Have we seen Oregon State or Arizona State put up points in bunches? Yeah. So when you look at the players that are left, I think everyone will point to Ashton Jeanty as maybe the chaos factor, the change agent, so to speak. And look, I get it. There's another running back in this that I think could have way more of an impact, and that is Cam Skattebo. And there are going to be a ton of Arizona State fans here in Atlanta. A ton. I can go ahead and tell you, I know a lot of people in this area, people that are on the business side of all athletics in this area, specifically the Peach Bowl and the Atlanta Business Council, all those. They have been floored with what Arizona State has done. The Arizona State local group that goes out every Saturday. All of that, they have done a fantastic job getting people selling the city of Atlanta for New Year's, and how much fun you could have here. I don't like some of those celebrations, but a lot of people do. But keep an eye on Cam Skattebo. He's the most important player in the playoff moving forward. That'll do it for this edition. Hey, join the subtext group. Speaking of Peach Bowl, I will be covering the Peach Bowl. You can sign up. The link is below. Do that, and I can text you. You can text me. We can have a big, fun time together. Thank you for making this your first listen. Hey, for your second listen, go check out Locked On College Football. Spencer McLaughlin does a great job over there. We also have conference channels throughout our network, and of course, the team channels. If you are a fan of one of the playoff teams, we have you covered with a team-dedicated channel. That'll do it for Thursday's edition. We'll talk to you Friday. Have a great afternoon watching bowl games, because there's no such thing as too many bowls.